Hello viewers, so today I'll be giving us updates about what is happening in our nation and in our judiciary and what the Supreme Court justices did against Nigeria. That is the injustice that they did. So one of the Supreme Court justices that retired yesterday, Musa Mohammed, exposed what is going on in our judiciary, and he also said that the judgment of the Supreme Court concerning the election was not correct, that it was based on technicalities. He exposed what is happening in our Nigeria's judiciary and how our judiciary is already corrupt. I'll be giving us details on this and how people have been reacting to this. But before we go fully into this, I would like us to please do to like this video and also do well to subscribe to our channel if you are yet to subscribe, so you get updates whenever we post a new video. See the way Sahara reporters reported what the Supreme Court judge said. They said, Supreme Court panel which had Atiku Peter Obi's appeal against Tinubu was not well constituted, retiring Justice Musa Mohammed. A retiring justice of the Supreme Court, Musa Datijo Mohammed, has said that the 7-man panel that dismissed all the appeals that sought to remove President Tinubu from office was not well constituted, as it did not have members from all the geopolitical zones of the country. The retiring justice also said that the office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria (CJN), Justice Olukayode Ariwola, had enormous powers, and such powers must be reduced to prevent abuse of office. The Supreme Court panel on Thursday had dismissed appeals by Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and Peter Obi of the Labour Party, and affirmed the victory of Bola Tinubu as Nigerian president to the mixed reactions of Nigerians. Meanwhile, Justice Mohammed, who spent 47 years in active judicial service, bowed out of the Apex Court bench on Friday, having clocked the 70 years mandatory retirement age. He used the opportunity of a valedictory section that was organized in his honor by the Supreme Court to address what he observed as rots in the judiciary that had continued to affect justice delivery system in the country. He said, through the years, I rose to become the second most senior justice of the country's Apex Court and deputy chairperson of the National Judicial Council. Considering the number of years I have spent in the judicial service and the position I have attained by the grace of the Almighty, I feel obligated to continue the struggle for reforms for a better judiciary, and will be leaning on the earlier submissions of those who had exited before me, Justice Mohammed stated before he descended on the CJN. He maintained that the judiciary, as presently structured, gave so much power to the CJN, who he said usually take decisions without consulting other justices. As presently structured, the CJN is the chairman of the NJC, which oversees both the appointment and discipline of judges. He is equally chair of the Federal Judicial Service Commission (FJSC), the National Judicial Institute (NJI), the Legal Practitioners Privileges Committee (LPPC) that appoints senior advocates of Nigeria. In my considered opinion, the oversight functions of these bodies should not rest on an individual alone. A person with absolute powers, it is said, corrupts easily and absolutely. As chair of NJC, FJSC, NJI, and LPPC, appointment as council, board, and commitment members are at his pleasure. He neither confers with fellow justices nor seek their counsel or impute on any matter related to these bodies. He has both the final and the only say. The CJN has power to appoint 80% of members of the council and 60% of members of the FJSC. The same applies to NJI and LPPC. Such enormous powers are effortlessly abused. This needs to change. Continued denial of the existence of this threatening anomaly weakens effective judicial oversight in the country, he added. On the current composition of the bench of the Apex Court, Justice Mohammed alleged that the refusal to fill the vacant slot of Southeast on the Apex Court bench was deliberate, blaming it on absolute powers vested in the office of the CJN. So this is what he's saying. He's saying that giving such absolute power to the CJN and giving him authority to do whatever he likes has in turn spoilt our judiciary. And also, the way the judges was constituted for the case between Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar against President Bola Tinubu, that it was poorly done, which is why they did not give the right judgment. Reacting to what Justice Musa said on X, this person here said Justice Musa Datijo's revelation on corruption in the judiciary gives a clue that the October 26 judgment may have been a procured product. 1. Justice Musa Datijo, JSC, retired, exposed on the enormous and near unbridled powers of the CJN, who incidentally is a very close ally of Mr. Bola Tinubu. It can no longer be effectively argued that although the CJN rescued himself from the 7-justice panel for the presidential election petition appeal for conflict of interest, he had almost a near absolute influence on what became the judgment given on October 26, 2023. 2. Civil society organization should quickly host the retired Justice Datijo to public seminar to interact with him to find out more about the roles of the CJN since inception in procured judgments in the court, including the Lawan and Uzodinma cases, among others, and more importantly, the presidential election petition appeal judgments. 3. I have maintained that asking Nigerians to move on after the technicalities judgment of the 7 justices panel of the Supreme Court that decided that Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains the validly elected president of Nigeria is most unpatriotic. 4. It is most saddening that senior lawyers and journalists, especially those loyal to Tinubu, will come to national television and defend the thoughtless judgment of the Supreme Court that ultimately made a mess of the over 400 billion naira spent and 70+ human lives lost during the 2023 general election. Listening to Chief Robert Clark defend that judgment, blaming lapses on the petitioner's lawyers and the likes of Reuben Abati speak with shallow authority that law is kilometers and kilometers away from emotions, so that those that speak against truth, while putting on a cloak of emotions and sentiments don't matter in law, often exhibit deadlier emotions and sentiments for whatever interest they wish to defend, covertly or overtly. So this is what this person here is saying. He's saying that what the justice said yesterday when he was retiring shows clearly that indeed what the judges gave to Nigerians as their judgment in the Supreme Court was nothing but false judgment, because it just shows that all they did was that they gave their judgment based on technicalities, not based on the law before them. Reacting to this also, this person here said, we all know that, but we are handicapped, and this is it. Nigerians know the truth. We know what the Supreme Court did in their judgment. We know that they failed Nigerians, just like this retiring judge said, but we cannot do anything at this point in time because, like we know, the Supreme Court is the apex court of the nation. There's no other place to run to except we want to go to international communities, but most times they don't even have much to do in this case because it was the privilege given to the Supreme Court to do the right thing, but they failed Nigerians. Another person here said every right-thinking person knows the truth, glaring facts, but why is he voicing out now? Why has he been silent all these years? Or he just began to notice the rot today? And this is another side of the story. Why has he been silent all along? He would have spoken up since, even before his retirement and even before the judgments from the Supreme Court, yet he kept quiet until he's leaving the judiciary before he's opening up to say that there's a lot of rot in the system. Another person here also reacted and said, "We all know what played out: a corrupt institution with zero integrity to the highest level. In this my early 30s, I will tell my children how men in their 60s, 50s, and 70s destroyed Nigeria in the face of the young people. The Nigerian judiciary I am exiting from today is far from the one I voluntarily joined and desired to serve and be identified with. The institution has become corrupt and turned into something else." Justice Musa. So this person is quoting what he said. Another person here also reacted and said, "The whole Nigerian institution is currently under a state capture." Rufai Oseni here also reacted and said, "Justice Musa don't break table, but some people say public morality don't matter. They say law is law. Now a justice of the Supreme Court is now questioning the law applied by the courts in the case of Imo and Lawal. Isn't it time for the Supreme Court to review those cases just like they did in the Amechi case?" And this is it. Even the presidential election case, they have to review it, because this one, someone who is working with you, who is also a judge of the Supreme Court, have come out to say what you people did was based on technicalities. You don't have any other hideout. You just have to do the right thing and apologize to Nigerians too. This person here also reacted and said, "This is the result of a pocketed judiciary by the bagmen. When you hear law is not emotion, you wonder if the law was not written by humans full of emotions in the first place." This person here also reacted and said, "There is nothing supreme about the Nigeria judiciary system. It's time for our inferior courts to review those cases instead." Our inferior courts, will they not still dance to the tune of the Supreme Court? They cannot do anything. Like what we saw in the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, they are the lower court, but they still gave Nigerians injustice, and the Supreme Court stamped what they did. So all of them are corrupt. Our judiciary in Nigeria is already very corrupt. This person here also reacted and said, "The Nigerian political system goes like this: the more you look, the more you see, but there is nothing you can do about it. The judiciary has lost its conscience." Another person here said, "Those criminals don't have conscience." Also reacting to this person here said, "Is a complete state capture by Amuda and APC. Growing up, I used to have so much admiration, this type of respect that is mixed with fear, admiration, and honor anytime I see someone wearing this colonial wig. Because of one man that was shouting, 'It's my turn,' they decided to destroy everything we held sacred in Nigeria. Now I look at them like all bunch of clowns. Like, how can you be wearing that colonial wig in the first place? They want to copy everything from a white man except actually delivering real judgment. Bunch of old corrupt colonial wig wearing masquerades that only show their power to the common man that they are meant to be the last hope of." And this is it. They only show their power to the common man when an innocent man is being accused falsely in Nigeria, who is poor, who is broke. We'll see the way they will fight and ensure that that person goes to jail. But politicians who are rigging elections, politicians who deserve to be behind bars, are freely working and destroying our nation. Yet they can't do anything according to the law of the land. And these are the people that are supposed to be the last hope of the common man. Another person here also reacted and said, "How can judges being paddy with government deliver fair judgment? Camel go first pass eye of needle before they deliver judgment against their friend." And this is it. This person here also said, "God bless you, retired Honorable Justice Dati Joe Mohammed, JSC, for standing out. Posterity will judge you fairly. We won't forget." This person here also reacted and said, "You people continue to loot our commonwealth in the name of corruption and politics. No wonder good man cannot be the president of Nigeria. So the looting We continue. Justice Musa Datijo Mohammedi, in his valedictory speech, made references to the judgment of the Supreme Court on Imo gubernatorial election and the one in favor of Senator Lawan. The fact that the retired justice spoke so intensely about the decay in the judiciary should make any serious country to have a conversation about it. You can feel his pain by merely reading his speech. He retired as a very sad man. He said he didn't want a valedictory section in his honor. He said he wanted to exit quietly, but his family prevailed on him to accept it, as rejecting it would be defeatist. He said the judiciary he is exiting from is not the same judiciary he wanted to identify with when he joined the bench. He spoke about corruption and nepotism, among other issues. And this is coming from popular lawyer F. Young. So this is it. And indeed, it's actually very painful that you come to meet corruption in a system that you usually adore, a system you thought was a place that the right thing will be done, and when you join it, you see corruption, just like this retiring justice pointed out. This person here also reacted and said, the veil of justice have been torn. Her scale destroyed, her sword of truth is now blunt. She is terrified because evil keeps defeating her in Nigeria. Courtesy to her associates, she has been exposed, tried and conquered in a fight led by Tinubu and his predecessors. Another person here also reacted and said, Buhari, Tinubu and the APC destroyed every institution in Nigeria, be it the judiciary, CBN or DSS, just name it. The CJN hailed Makinde and Wike's group and praised them for their integrity. Very terrible. And this is it. The APC has successfully destroyed these institutions in Nigeria. How can the CJN be political? Someone who is supposed to have a blind eye, someone who is not supposed to be concerned about what is happening in politics, have these politicians as his friends. How will he be able to give us justice? How will he be able to give Nigerians justice? In this case, he will favor his friend, and this is what we are talking about, checking out our law, because having the president appoint these people is not helping our nation in any way. This person here also reacted and said, who will save the judiciary? It is definitely a legitimate question to raise, but I doubt any of us have the best answer. You are a lawyer and a prominent one, and you have a grasp of where the challenges are. A good way to start the reform is to draw the attention of the public to their corrupt practices, advocate for adequate support for the judiciary, and press charges against them in cases where there is a clear evidence of corruption, if technically possible. And this is one way we can help and save our judiciary, especially for lawyers, especially for those who are in the system. When you see people who are engaged in corruption, you call them out just the way this man just did. Another person here also reacted and said, I think they knew about his speech. Reason why they rushed the judgment a day before the speech to prevent the harm it would cause if they still go ahead with their dishonest judgment. Justice Musa Datijo Mohammed has confirmed the corruption in the judiciary. Those calling us names that we are spreading false news and lying about the judiciary should be ashamed of themselves. And this is it. At this point in time, what he just said now shows what is happening in the judiciary. The Nigerians, well-meaning Nigerians who are lamenting on the internet and who are exposing them on the internet, are actually saying the truth. They are not lying. They are not trying to spoil their image, but they are saying what is happening. And this person here also reacted and said, please don't crucify him for telling us exactly what we have long known. Maybe he didn't partake in their shady deals. Maybe he was sidelined for being different. Perhaps he is speaking the truth now, knowing that he has nothing to lose anymore. it would have been better appreciated. So this is what this person is saying to Nigerians who are insulting him for speaking up now that he is retiring. And this person here is saying that he should not be insulted because you don't know, maybe he was not part of the team but had to keep quiet for his own safety and all of that. But we are still appreciative because this will in turn show to everyone and the world at large that what they did was just that they gave Nigerians their judgment based on technicalities, and it is obvious that justice was not served in this case. And it is good because it is exposing more and more the evils that are going on in our judiciary. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. Please do well to share your thoughts about the video in the comment section. Please do well to like this video, and please do well to subscribe to our channel if you are yet to subscribe so you get updates whenever we post a new video.